Okay, there is actually an eyelash in my eye and it's stuck, so stay with me here. I just made my, environmental science essay video. And when I'm done with my videos, I resume other videos that I was watching. And, I've been really bored lately, so I've been checking out other channels that I've been watching, things about, health at every size movement, fat phobia stuff for some reason. I don't really know why. I think it helps me feel like I need to exercise or something. I don't remember. And if you're wondering, obviously, I'm not really skinny, but that doesn't really matter. That's not really the point of this video. Well, one of the points that I found people talk about in the fat phobia movement and trying to explain to people how fat phobia is rooted in racism and homophobia and eugenics, for God's sake. And I don't need to go into that, but personally, I know about the struggles of LGBTQ people. And, it just, I don't really know how to explain it, but, fat people's struggles are not the same as people who have been discriminated against like that, or in an actual marginalized community, because to be honest, guys, most Americans are not exactly skinny guys. It's not the same as being a person of color or an immigrant or disabled or gay or LGBT. And it just made me start thinking about, you know, news publications. They tend to say a lot about LGBT people, and most of the time, as far as I know, the ones that get shared around the most are the ones that are very harmful to the community. And I just got into an argument with someone, which I probably shouldn't have done that. I was calm about it. They were calm about it. So I was like, oh, this isn't gonna bother me. But they were anti-LGBT, and they're trying to explain their point as to why it's not good. And I was just trying to understand, and they were saying all this stuff, and I was like, you're not even speaking English to me right now. Like, I actually don't know what you're saying. But I was afraid that if I say that, they're going to be like, oh, you're just not smart enough to understand. And, seeing these things about anti-gay legislation, and, how it's even a debate in the 21st century that gay people should be able to be married, and how gay people living their lives is not an attack. That includes trans people. Trans people have been really lately been seeing a lot of stuff lately, and it really bothers me because, first of all, I am non-binary. That doesn't really bother me because if you look at me, you can't tell anything. It doesn't matter. But my brother is trans. Sometimes I get a little nervous because of how the world is. And, you know, I don't necessarily fear that he'll be killed on the streets, but, I have to say, high school, last year particularly, I think it was last year, maybe it was other years, I don't really remember. No, it was sophomore year. I'm a senior now, so it was sophomore year. I had a group of friends that were almost all LGBT, outwardly trans and not outwardly trans, gay, not outwardly gay. Most people knew because we were in the Gay Straight Alliance or Gender Sexuality Alliance group. And we used to go to football games. And we sat at the top of this hill, so we were away from everyone else except for this group of boys that, they did not like us, to say the least. And we didn't have any problems until they saw that, there were two people with us of the same sex. I think one was a lady and one was non-binary. But they knew that they were both female, and they threw things at us twice, actually, 2 separate times. Cans and water bottles that were half filled with water, so they would have hurt, and my friends were very upset, and he kept saying they were going to get aggressive with them because they were being actually attacked. And I kept telling them, don't do it, because at this point, I had previously been threatened with a knife by a man once. That was not having to do with being gay, but just kind of how the way I looked. And I knew that boys, they just take it too far. And with a woman, with a female, like, you can fight them, but with a man, they're so aggressive, and you just don't know what they're going to do. And nothing got physical except we just kind of yelled at them until they stopped. And it's just you know, to see people who have not done anything wrong to those people, or any people having that kind of stuff done to them because of who they are, and just trying to actually just living their life. And I can't believe it's not something you can just ignore as someone who is gay, because it's everywhere. And I keep seeing people say this. It's like people are shoving LGBTQ propaganda around down your throat, and it's like that's not what's happening. And people have a big issue with it happening at schools, and they don't consider what's happening at schools to people who happen to be gay, and they don't even have to be outwardly gay, as long as they are showing any affection to someone of the same sex, or if they are trans. They have, at least in my school, a high chance of not being accepted and possibly even being hurt by other people who are aggressive. And it's just, I hate seeing people think that it's a waste of time to talk about these people at school, either the people being aggressive or actual, gay people, And it's like, I don't know. It's scary. And even in my own group, I don't go on Facebook often, but I do to post about certain things, and I have a school group, and one of the things I saw, I didn't even read it, I just saw it really quickly. I don't even remember what it said, but it was a gay flag with a little X over it, and it said something like, "Get this out of our schools," and it's just like people don't consider why it's there. And it's like, why does it matter to you if you're seeing something like this? That's like saying, like, we shouldn't be learning about racism that's happened in the past because it doesn't mean anything now. And it's like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? Like, why I try and keep away from this stuff because I can't understand it and I don't know what to do. And it's like, it's dangerous. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why it is, but obviously we know not all inequalities are treated equally. And I don't know what state my state is. I don't know if it's a red state or a blue state. I think it's a blue state, but that doesn't matter because the people in my school, particularly boys, they love to be very alt-right, and they love to get on people's nerves. And I know that there are actually boys that I think I could trust with not hurting people for no reason. It's not like self-defense or anything, or it's just causing problems to people who already have to deal with these problems. And it just, this really has nothing to do with fatphobia. That's not the point of this video, but it just kind of triggered this thought in my head, you know, like, it's so hard because I feel like this should not be a conversation. This should not be an issue. And it's like, you can't, it feels like you can't make any good points because no one will listen to that. And it doesn't matter what you say. I don't believe in people, I do believe in people changing, but I don't really believe in people changing views like that unless it's over time. Unless they realize, unless they see it themselves, where they think that's not right. And, it's just, LGBT people don't even have a real space to go to unless it's outwardly LGBT and doesn't let anyone else that is not LGBTQ in. One of the spiritual servers I was in, when I got into a argument with that guy, most of the people there were identified as LGBTQ, and that would make it mostly an LGBTQ place. And this person came in saying they don't support people like that and they should not have a movement. And it's like, how could you say that when you know there are people here that struggle with that issue? And I'm just scared for the future, and I just hope things get better, but you know, it's hard. And I just hate how much opposition there is from people who do not understand. So, I don't even get what they gain from it. It's really sickening, to be honest. And like, there's so many things you could be fighting for, other than fighting against something. You could be fighting for things, instead of fighting against things that you know people have been struggling with. I feel like if anyone is, I just can't even do it. It's just really scary. It's hard. People don't understand. It's not fair. And it's just, if even people around you who they know that you're gay, or you're trans, they will still think inside of them that you are not right. Again, most of the time it's Christians. I don't know why Christians are so hateful, but I don't understand why it is them. I mean, obviously they always say you need to be saved. God doesn't agree with gay people. And then there are Christians who are the opposite and say Jesus wanted love. And it's like, unfortunately, that's not how most people go about it. The loud majority are people who are against gay people. And I feel like people are just so sick of the argument now that gay people are still struggling. It's just like we're not being heard and there's still those issues. And I don't know why, because it doesn't really seem fair. And again, like, I don't know why, but in my school, black people and people of color are seen as cool, and they're not discriminated against. I'm not saying in the system, but inside with the kids in our school, they're cool. And then if you're gay, it's all of a sudden, that's disgusting. And it's like, how could, and especially colored kids who are anti-gay, it's something like you don't understand why they would think that, knowing how it feels to be discriminated against, or even knowing the history of their own struggles, even if they haven't experienced discrimination themselves. It's just, I don't know what to do. It's just not right. I don't really have anything else to say. This video is so long. I always make such long videos. It's just like, what are we supposed to do? We can't have activism in our school because it will be taken down by kids and even some adults in the school. And it's just like, all we can do is keep fighting. And it gets really tiring. Especially when you feel like you could be in physical danger. And that should not be something that should be not looked into. It's just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I always end up getting frustrated at the end of these videos because I just don't know what to do. I don't have a solution. And I think about the people who have been actually killed, even children, for saying they are gay or trans by even people like their own parents. And relating this back to fat phobia, I really doubt that if you're fat, your parents or someone on the street would try and end your life. And I don't like to compare struggles of people, but there's no comparison here. It's not fair. It's so unbelievable that that's even a talking point. Like, I don't even know. I don't know. I can't even think about it, because it's like I'm just so lost, and like I don't know what to do. And it's adults that you would wish that they would help you, and a lot of them, the ones that make the difference are the ones that are hurtful. And a lot of the ones that agree that gay people should be left alone will just leave them alone instead of trying to help. So it's up to the kids, because there's either opposition or neutrality. There's rarely any adults, unless they have kids who are LGBT, that are willing to outwardly say that something needs to be changed in the school system. And it's just so fucked up. It's just so fucked up. It's so messed up. There's nowhere to voice your concerns because it's not with the school system, it's with the kids. There's nothing to do about it. You just have to get through it. And you just have to hope. That things get better. And like, if you want to take it further, you could protest legislations that are anti-LGBTQ, but again, I think that's even more dangerous than going to school and being gay, because then you're outwardly in public activating, being an activist for LGBTQ people, even if you are an ally, and that can be very dangerous to unhinged people. And it's just like, they shouldn't be happening. It's just not fair. It's so, like, depraved. Like, why can't people just have human rights? That's in the Constitution, right? People are so adamant about America and the Constitution, and we need to keep traditionalism. Well, then why can't everyone just have human rights then? Okay? Not everything about the Constitution is good, but human rights, how can you dispute that we need that? It's just not fair. Anyway. It's actually 6 o'clock in the morning. I got caught up in this because I guess I just needed to vent again. And I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Because it's just not, this is not acceptable. God. Oh, fucking, I don't know. It's different when you go through it. It's different when you have family that goes through it. And it's different when you have friends and peers that go through it. It's different when you know than uneducated people who are just bigoted and ignorant and just not accepting and not tolerant, and it's hard. That's basically it. So, yeah.